The pipe henge, for a start, grew out from the year of astronomy, and I'd applied to the government with the school's permission for a grant to build a pipe henge. We didn't get it, but the then principal, I think it was Chris Smith, he said go ahead and build it anyway. So I got on to the then just recently retired professor of surveying, geometrics I think it was, and he came out and helped and did the design and everything. So this puts you in touch with the universe. Well, I could go into the whole axis of it, but I won't here and now, but it's a way of bringing the universe down, where the sun rises at different times of the year, where the south celestial pole, the line there goes through the axis of the earth. It's just, yeah, it can take you away from the planet into the cosmos. Well, the labyrinth, I will humbly claim it was my idea. But again, I put it to the then principal. I think it was Chris Smith. And we had this great space here at the time. There wasn't anything on it. It was all landfill. And I read something about labyrinths, and I thought it'd be good to have it down there. Because at the time, Chris Smith said that this area was not to be a sports area. It was to be developed as a place of reflection. And I thought, oh, it needs a labyrinth. So I put the idea of the labyrinth up there, and yes, we'll go ahead with it. So then we had to measure it out and pace it out and decide how many circles it would have and what design it would have, and so we did that. And if you look at an early sort of Google Earth view of it, you'll see just after he marked it out. It was marked with the white line marker and pine bark for a start, and then we planted all the bush behind it. And it's one of the best labyrinths in Australia now. Almost all the labyrinths I've seen are just marked out with rocks or paving stones or something. But this is the labyrinth in Australia. I don't think without Bushy it would be where it is now. I had the idea, I helped him mark it out, but really he's built it from there. There's something in me that says I must go down to the sea again, to the lonely sea and the sky. But I think everybody has a place where they go to find peace. I remember when I was councillor here, one young fella told me he used to go and sit on the back steps and watch the traffic lights change. Another one said he'd ride his bike down to the beach and he had a favourite rock and he'd just sit on it. So I think all of us probably have a place where we find peace. And I think this is where we put ourselves in touch with the Almighty. Whether you call it God or the Great Spirit or whatever, but that other presence that maintains the earth and the universe. And for me, it's the sea, either walking along it or sailing on it. I've never been interested in competitive sailing, but I'm interested in being there. But I'm also interested in young men, boys, finding their strength and finding where there's life and energy for them. And for some, it's in sailing. And I've seen many young men here grow up from being the little fella. I think of one little fella, I used to see him, he was in grade 3, he'd be sitting in the front of the rubber ducky with his knees underneath him folded, and now he's well and truly up the road, up the list of the school here, and he's doing exceptionally well in sailing. Another young fella who was here in my time, he's since left, he says his best memories of St Virgil's are those of the sailing. Now these are people who find their life and energy in sailing. Others will find it in football, artwork, piano playing, guitar playing, whatever. But I was just keen to help the sailing scene along. It fell in with my own love of the sea and the life that I got from the sea, and I wanted to share that and maybe expose other people to it as well.